her bio.
Through the midnight haze, chasing shadows in the darkest maze. Footsteps echo in the empty hall, mysteries waiting on our call. Bigfoot stomping through the pines, aliens sending secret signs. EVPs in the dead of night, ghosts dancing in the pale moonlight. Paranormal for what we bring it to you. Truth behind the veil, gotta pursue you.
All right.
All right.
How we doing?
Good. How you doing?
Doing good. I had something happen with the Facebook, so I had to go on Facebook just then and start it up.
Oh.
Wow.
Facebook said
it's still
is it not?
Still maybe not working. Oh well. We'll just be on YouTube tonight, and I'll put it on Facebook when we get done.
All right.
So we got a great show tonight.
It was deleted on Facebook, is what it says.
Yeah, I don't know why. I didn't delete it.
It was Ghost.
Ghost. We got a great show. We got Lori Hines, right?
Yeah.
Lori's a good friend. She even came visit us for a little bit.
She came down and visited us for a week. Got to
Fun.
see the Smoky Mountains.
Yeah. So we got Greg Ogles in the chat too. Relic Films. Can't wait to go to that premiere, right?
Great. Yeah, I mean, all people have to do is just go to paranormal411.org. You'll see a link on the right-hand side that says, what, Jason? Relic Films.
Yep.
Click on it, and that's the tickets. Buy your tickets right there. Then, you know, if you live around here where we are, then it's only 4 hours. Not very far.
Right.
Not very far, Jason.
So, like I said, we got Lori Hines on tonight. She's an author and a psychic medium and has presented workshops at conferences, libraries, and colleges. She's a volunteer in the Find Me group, which is a group of psychic mediums who help locate missing people and solve cold cases. She's worked with Bullion Plaza Cultural Center in Miami, Arizona, on projects related to psychic archaeology. That's interesting right there.
Yes.
So her mystery novels involve Native American history and culture, archaeology, the paranormal, supernatural, Arizona's history of the Southwestern U.S., and the spiritual metaphysical. So she has the Ancient Ones series of novels. The Ancient Ones is the first in a series set at Vulture City Ghost Town and the Triangle Tea Ranch near Tombstone, Arizona. Caves of the Watchers, honorable mention in the 2013 Southwest Book Festival, and Whispers Among the Ruins, set in the Four Corners, and it's a 2016 book excellent award winner in the multicultural fiction category. Visions of Time, published through Written Dreams Publishing, is an International Book Award finalist in the New Age category and received honorable mention in the 2021 New York Book Festival for the Spiritual Religious category. Now, you can learn about her books, learn more about Lori at lhauthor.wordpress.com, or you can find her on Facebook for upcoming events. We're going to bring her on. What do you think, David?
Yeah.
Yeah. Lori.
Hey, Lori, so good to see you. Mr. Greg Ogles says, are you interested in appearing in his next film? They're looking for a psychic.
Yes, Greg, absolutely. That sounds pretty cool, actually.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
You
fantastic.
wouldn't be disappointed, Greg. She's great.
Yeah, and I've worked with paranormal investigators. There's a group here out of Arizona called AC Ghost Adventures. They're actually really good. They're actually one of the better groups in the state, I think. So
That's good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people. Jason and I, it was funny. Was doing our show on Thursday this week, and we got an email, and it was from some group or something like that that's starting this paranormal investigating. What was it, Jason? It was like a listing, and they were going to start training people on how to become paranormal investigators. And it was almost like, if you're not listed with us, you're not a real good paranormal investigator. And I was like, yeah, go ahead.
it's actually, that's a good perspective. It's good that they're training, but yeah, you know, to take that kind of attitude is not always good.
Yeah. I don't think that there's anything better. I think that you could watch many people do it, and what resonates with you is what's going to resonate with you and what's going to do right, you know. And I don't think that like some of the things Jason and I do someone else might not like that. They might want to do something a little bit different, and that's okay.
Exactly.
As long as the core stuff stays good, right? You don't trespass. You don't do these things that are the no-nos. Then, go out and do what feels right to you. So,
or don't interrogate. That's one of maybe a little bit. Some people do that, but you really have to really be careful with that, because you either could bring something home or get harmed during that's one thing that the owner of Ghost Adventures doesn't take. I mean, I'm not with them anymore, but and that's a good thing. You can't allow that. So it's too dangerous for everybody involved. So
right. Well, there's a lot of people who get into it because they watch a lot of the shows and they think they don't. They're never told or talked to about or understand about the repercussions that could happen. You can they can make your life hell if they want to. So it's bad.
Yeah, definitely.
See if I can try. I'm trying to get this back on Facebook.
Well, Lori,
there we go. We're back on Facebook. So
look there. It's been a while since you've been on. So kind of tell us
2 years.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, a lot good, a lot bad, which is pretty much the case with everybody.
Right.
So, well, I'm working full time still. I have to drive down to Chandler, which is like an hour and a half drive back and forth to work, but it's a fantastic job. So of course that, but I've been focusing, I was with AC Ghost Adventures for like a year and a half as their resident psychic medium. That was actually a lot of fun. And, I got a number of readings out of it, and she really helped get my name out there. But it's just after a while between driving back and forth to work, I decided, you know what, I'm going to focus more on the missing persons cases, because driving to Globe and then to Chandler took a lot of time. So I wasn't able to really get into the missing persons cases as much. I had to drop a lot of them. So I said, I'm going to get back into that. And then I've been studying remote viewing. There's a lot of really fascinating YouTube videos on it with government officials telling you how you do it. That's pretty fascinating. And I did a pretty amazing remote viewing session just a week ago. It's mind blowing. Wow. So I'll have to tell you guys about that in a little bit. But yeah, just I was about done with my children's book, but my publisher was not paying royalties. So with you guys, I had to pull it from her. So I need to get on trying to find a publisher or self-publish. Yeah, it's brutal. So I don't want to mention the company because I don't want to get sued, but not that she could, but yeah, that was a real disappointment. So the remote viewing's been pretty interesting. I've been exploring. There's a place in Payson, kind of a little on the outskirts in the Mazatzal Mountains, and it's a ranch called Baby Doll Ranch. So we've been exploring out there, and I had some very interesting things happen at the ranch. Jason, I think I just told you a little bit about it, but yeah, there's some interesting stuff going on there. Like everybody probably on here, as I should ask your listeners if they've heard of Bradshaw Ranch and of course Skinwalker Ranch in the Uinta Basin. So there's things that go on supposedly at that ranch that are very similar to what happens at those places, maybe on a little bit smaller of a scale, but it's really interesting. We've done like paranormal investigating out there. I actually saw an interdimensional being literally standing maybe 10 feet from us. That was about the height of a Bigfoot. And it was like a
Wow.
mottled bluish. And I told Lucy, I said, please tell me you can see that alien standing there. And she's like, no, I don't see what you see. I'm not a medium. But I'm like, but it's right there. It's not, it wasn't solid, but it was enough that I was like, oh my gosh, this thing was huge. And when I would talk, it would kind of answer my questions. So it was really intense.
Wow.
And there's some interesting energy at that ranch. And we both tried to do research on it, but we couldn't find anything. But when I go out there and of course talk to them as a medium, and we do the spirit talker thing and they'd talk back. I found out one of the people we were talking to out there was, I believe he was a deceased police officer. Well, not deceased. It was kind of like there's like a portal out there. We both saw there's a sign like that kind of tells you a little bit of the history of the ranch. It's owned by the Forest Service now. And we both saw the sign like a wavy thing, like it would be in a portal. And my guides kept saying, yeah, it's because this ranch is a portal. And I know that sounds mundane. You hear that about a lot of places, but seriously, it's like, it is a very weird vibe out there. Sometimes it has good energy, sometimes bad. We've heard drumming out there. There's Native American. There's a lot of history, and a lot of it's not so good, but especially for Native. But there was a lot of experiences we've had out there, and that was probably the most mind-blowing when I saw the otherworldly being there.
Wow.
Now, on the otherworldly being and everything, do you think that's I mean, you said that he was able to talk to you a little bit. Did he tell you anything?
Yeah, well, it was kind of like bits and pieces, because like when I'm out there, I get like 10 to 20 other people talking to me. And so I'll be talking to my spirit guide saying, is this what I'm hearing? Is this really an alien, or am I seeing things? And they're like, no. And it's standing there talking to you. So it was like in a corral area at the far end, and we were just kind of standing there, and Lucy had her phone out. She had like one of those ghost box apps, and she just had it on, and we could hear the breathing. And I'm like, is that your app? She said, no. I'm like, then it's breathing. We heard it's breathing. Either that or was other spirits. Wow. There is a lot of energy out there all the time. And at first it didn't show itself. And maybe after half an hour or so, it showed itself. But yeah, it was bits and pieces. Like I was trying to squeeze through this part of the fence to go around to the back of the corral. And I said, Lucy, I don't have enough room. I'm too fat. She's like, and then right away on her ghost box, it said room. And Lucy was like, she's like, look at this. It says room. And it was like, she said, Lori, it's responding to you. And then sometimes I can hear it as a medium. I'll hear things. But then it's like through the ghost box, it's kind of interesting to have that, just to be able to get confirmation of what you're hearing. And then my spirit guides, of course, will talk to me and say, yeah, this is what you're hearing. And it said the word government. They told me, I think it was that first time, and then like the second time I came, they said something about something being underground. They said tunnels underground the ranch.
Wow.
And yeah, and I think it goes straight across the ranch is kind of what I was getting a visual of. And my guides are like, yeah, there are tunnels out there. And they're not just empty tunnels. There's stuff going on under there. So, which is interesting. You never see forest rangers out there or anything, but that doesn't mean there's nothing going on. Right. So you consider like Bradshaw Ranch and all the stories and stuff. So, but my guides are like, that ranch has just as much strong energy as like Skinwalker and places like that. It's just, it's a much smaller area. And Lucy and I love going out there just to kind of see, what we can pick up on. Of course, as a psychic, I might be talking to 20 different spirits out there. And there was one police officer. He wasn't retired, but he was just traveling. I think he was from Idaho, is what my spirit guides were saying. And something happened to him out there, and it was only 10 years ago, so it was pretty recent. So he actually disappeared out there.
Wow.
And yeah, and I got evidence. I caught a picture. I was kind of walking around out there just maybe for 10, 15 minutes. I went back and left an offering for the native spirits and some of the other Spanish conquistadors that are out there. And my guides are like, take a picture of the barn. And so they're like, don't go up to it because that goes in and out. It's part of the portal. But they're like, they were seriously, they're like, do not walk up to it. But I took a picture, and then when I got home, I was manipulating it, and it looked like someone standing there with a flashlight. in the barn.
Wow.
Wow.
And I showed Lucy, I'm like, am I imagining it? She said, no, Lori, that's a flashlight. And so he was showing himself. And when I walked back there, right before they told me to take the picture, this is exactly what an intelligent being said. It said, am I on video? That was the last thing I got on the Spirit Talker was, am I on video? And I was, I've been taking pictures. I'm not doing video, but that might have been the one. I think his first name is Ed that disappeared out there. And my spirit guide's like, Lori, he had disappeared into a portal out here. I'm like, no, you're messing with me. They said, no, we're not. So I don't know if he's actually deceased. He didn't talk to me the last time I was there, but you know, I located a grave out there because of another settler that was out there. So that's kind of, I think that was the focus the last time I was out there. But yeah, it's insane what happens out there. It's very interesting energy, and it's a beautiful part of Payson. I mean, it's beautiful. You can do hiking, all kinds of 4x4 driving out there. So, but that ranch, if you guys ever make it here, you'll have to. That's an interesting place to investigate.
Well, that's Bradshaw Ranch, right?
Oh no, that's out in no, that's Sedona. I'm near the baby. This is the Baby Doll Ranch here in Payson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You know, do you believe that when people go through these portals, that they're just transferred back into another time? You think that's what happens, or?
Yeah, I always like with my spirit guides and just talking to other people. It seems that it can be there another time, like a multiverse. It could be a totally different place. Sometimes I get like visuals of totally different place, like an interdimensional realm is kind of, because that's at the ranch. That's my understanding, is a lot of those beings are coming through via another realm. It's not like they have a spaceship that lands. They're coming through another realm, and that's what I pick up on out there. So it depends on the situation, but yeah, I mean. Sometimes it sounds like almost a multiverse situation, but you know, my spirit guides are always saying it depends. It's a different situation. There's so many different options that can happen to people. And then, like, you guys know David Pilates and a lot of his stories. Sometimes people come back, and the people that come missing from stuff like that do return. Sometimes alive. A lot of times they don't find people. So I wonder if that's due to portals. A lot of times it's not, but of course, he investigates the instances where it is really unusual. So,
right. Yeah, because I was just wondering. I mean, like, could that person, even though it was 10 years ago, if they went into it, could they still be alive?
Yes, that's what I picked up about him, and maybe that's why I saw the flashlight. Because David, the interesting thing was I really had to manipulate that photo to get to see the flashlight. And you guys and all every listeners know that a lot of times when you take pictures and you're doing paranormal investigations, you can come out and see the lights and the orbs. Mm-hmm. But with this, I couldn't until I manipulated it. And my spirit guides kept telling me there's something in that barn, there's something in the barn, and I kept working with the picture and editing it, and that's when I saw the flashlight. And I was trying to ask them, why do I have to edit this so much? And they're like, well, he's in another dimension. So it's not like he's a ghost, Lori. He's on a different plane of existence. And I'm like, oh, my God. So it's mind-blowing. But my understanding is he's actually still alive. That's what I'm getting.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, and that's what my spirit guides have always said about portals, is sometimes you are, and they're like, it depends on what you step into. And they've shown me images of how people literally will walk, either they'll walk into portals, like if you're in a forest or a remote area, you can literally walk into one, or one will overcome you, or they're like, Lori, sometimes people literally walk and you'll drop through the ground. And I've been given a lot of visuals, so people literally just drop through the ground. And there was a show I was watching about the paranormal. I don't remember what the name of it was, but they actually talked about a cave where a little kid, that happened to him. He actually dropped through. It was like he dropped through into a cave below ground. Right. So there's different scenarios that happens, and it's terrifying because is it an interdimensional realm? Like, because sometimes they say the places these people end up, it's like you get killed right away. They're like, these are not places that you want to step into. Right. And sometimes people are drawn into those. So it's just really bizarre, the stuff that happens.
Wow.
Yeah, I know Mr. Greg Ogles, you know, that's in the chat room and everything. When we had him on, he said that a couple of friends of his actually went into a portal by accident. And when they came back out, neither one of them lived very long. They had ended up with massive cancer.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Did they tell him what they said, what they experienced, or did they remember anything?
I think that they did, if I'm not mistaken. And he said that he's even seen them. When he's
Wow.
been doing some of his videoing and stuff, shooting stuff for his movies and stuff. He's actually seen some of these portals open up, and you could see, because I asked him, he says you could see and you could tell it's not, what's on the other side is not where you are.
Wow. I wonder if it's like looking through kind of like a dirty window almost, or like a shimmery effect. Maybe it depends on what kind of portal it is. But you guys know, like David Paulides, that one show up at the Hunters. Do you guys remember what the show started off talking about? This older guy, I think he was like 82 or something. He was out there just sitting by himself. They were in different areas. And then one guy said it was just like a huge, like a thunder or clapping sound, almost like a trap shutting. And it's like, was that the portal? I didn't know portals would make noise. Sometimes they do. So, but that's what the one guy heard at a distance. And then the guy was never seen again. So,
Right. Well, I know Greg also, when he came on the show, he talked about where they were filming and they heard like what you hear out of Missing 411 and David Paulides' stuff, where they'll hear just out of nowhere like metal slamming.
wow.
Yeah, he says it's just like a window. Just like a window is what he says.
Yeah, I've heard that more and more. And people used to say, okay, well, I've seen a Bigfoot. He's solid. And, I just saw him walking through, or you hear him stepping through the forest. Now people are seeing them. It's like people are seeing them walking into a portal almost. At least that's what they think they're seeing. I don't know. Is it just that they're blending in with their environment, or are they literally stepping into another dimension? Or is it just that invisibility thing that some people think the military are kind of, I don't know if they're like working with the Bigfoot, or if it's just, like that whole conspiracy theory. There's just, and then the association with the UFOs and all of that. So it's just, there's so many unknowns.
Yeah. Yeah, it's some pretty crazy stuff. So I know that you've been doing a lot of stuff with or like you were saying earlier, some stuff with finding missing people and stuff. So walk us through, like, how do you kind of prepare yourself, and do you get like something from them and then you just go in and try to see what you could see?
It's pretty different each time. Sometimes I see very vivid dreams that are really violent, and my guides will be like, okay, that relates to a missing persons case, and you need to start writing this stuff down, because I had a pretty violent dream recently, and I'm wondering if it's tied to a future case. I'll have to see if it's the one we just got, where it was a really pretty girl. She was about maybe 6 foot tall. I think I saw dark hair. She's thin. And I saw somebody grab her. She was screaming and yelling. And then they stabbed her to death. And there was blood everywhere. And I'm hoping it's not a case. I'm hoping maybe it was just, because I get things in my house too. I'm hoping it was just something with the history around here, though I don't want to ever think that happened. But people were slipping on the blood. It was so bad.
Wow.
And then there was a light that shot across from one side of my vision in my dream to the other. And there was a guy that grabbed a rifle, and he was scared to death of something. He was pointing his rifle at something, and I don't know if it's something supernatural, because he didn't shoot. It was really weird. The whole thing was just a really bizarre scenario. So sometimes I draw off those dreams. Sometimes I do ask if I pick up that they're deceased, which sometimes is what happens. I might call upon them to give me an idea of what happened to them. Sometimes, like, the guy that he's the former CIA agent, his name is Kelly. He actually is the one that started the group, I believe. And he'll tell us via email, okay, this person is deceased. This is the time and this is the date that they passed. Let us know what happened. Other times it's like, okay, they're just missing and no one can locate them. Then the family wants to know what happened, if they're okay. And then we say, okay, they're alive or deceased. And we give some backstory as much as we can, and coordinates if possible. All mediums work differently. For me, it's clairvoyance, clairaudience. I've been that's why I'm studying remote viewing, because that's what really can help you align with the people that have passed or the situation. It can put you in a particular place. I've noticed with remote viewing, they literally train you. These government officials will train you to feel things. Of course, with clairvoyance, you see things, but to hear things, to smell things. So you are literally, it's like you try and put yourself in that environment.
Right.
Yeah. So I've noticed that's opening up some other abilities too when I start doing that. But yeah, it's scary when you start picking up on some of these missing persons cases. There's some scary stuff that you see that you're like, okay, I don't want to see this, but to help the family, you have to tell them the situation,
Right.
whether it's violent or non-violent, or it's not always people. Oh, that's kind of cool. It's like not really. I mean, these are unfortunate circumstances that people disappear, and a lot of times, like the last few, I believe they were found. Whether they just wander off, or sometimes maybe drug-related things like that. But it's really good when we find people because a lot of times we don't, and a lot of the things we work on are actually cold cases from 10, 20 years ago or more.
That's pretty significant. I mean, so with these cold cases, they've just hit so many brick walls. They're just like, hey,
Exactly.
get some help.
Yeah, and even a lot of the crime scene shows you see focus on ones like that too, and so they're
Right.
still looking for people. Yeah, it's really sad.
Hey, Corky's here. I think that when it comes to stuff like that, it's just, I think it's pretty amazing that, people can do that and help people out. Have y'all had any closures of anything?
Yeah, well, sometimes things are found. Yeah. What's frustrating because there's like 100 of us in the group, so we could be helping, and we won't necessarily. And he told me this from the get-go before I got tested and got accepted into the group, because you have to be tested with 3 different cases. And he's like, you won't always know. Like, even if you help solve a case, you're not necessarily going to know that. And most of the time, I don't know if I'd say most of the time, but a lot of times, yeah, of course, like I said, they're cold cases, so we don't know. We could give, there's 100 of us giving all these different facts. Some of us might give the same information. And so I think that's how they work and how the police work. Off of, like, if you have 10 different mediums that are saying, okay, well, this person's located, or this body is located in this, I think that's kind of how they work if we all have them in a different region. So
Do
it's,
they have like multiple of you working on the exact same case, and then
oh yeah, there's like, yeah, he'll let the whole group know, okay, this is the person that went missing, and there's not a lot of details they don't know. So then we'll all start working on it. Sometimes I'll do automatic writing, remote viewing, just meditating. It can take, it's a lot of different, ways to work a case. There's some people are astrologers, they're really strong, and that's how they work a case. But it takes hours and days. It's not like you just sit down, okay, 10 minutes later you get a visual. It doesn't work that way, at least not for most of us, I think. So and it's hard to trust sometimes what you're seeing and feeling and hearing, which is why I started practicing the remote viewing, because that does seem to help.
So before the show, you kind of said something that was very interesting. Tell us about your
The
little
session.
your sighting of Bigfoot. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well I had, yeah, and then the remote viewing session was based off that sighting a week later. Yeah, so my friend Lucy and I and her sister went out on Lucy's 4x4, and her sister was in the back, I was in the side, and I just happened to look over to the right, and I saw something standing behind a tree. I kind of saw like a reddish brown. It was a tall figure. I'm like, okay, that's not the tree, because there's arms and legs. And it was like a split, maybe 2 or 3 seconds. And I just kept looking at it. I told my spirit guys, I'm like, that can't be what I think it is. They're like, yeah, you just saw a Bigfoot. And it was like a reddish brown. It was about the height of the tree. And it was there was a mine right there. There's a lot of mines all over Payson, open pit. And then, I think there was an entrance right there is what they were saying. So I told Lucy, I said, I think I just saw Bigfoot. And she's like, she freaks out. What? She slams on she's into all this stuff too. She's not a medium, but that's how we became friends, is she had a reading from me, but she slams on the brakes and I'm like, okay. And we didn't see it through the trees. But David, what was weird, I almost forgot this part. Maybe a quarter mile up the road, it's really bumpy. And I said to her, I looked over, I said, no, maybe I was just imagining that. It was probably just the tree that I was seeing. And David, as soon as I said that, a rock was thrown from the other side down the hill and hit her on the leg. And I said, Lucy, are you sure that wasn't a rock you kicked up? She's like, Lori, I've been driving 4x4s my whole life. And they're really right where she would, there was rocks, but it was more of a dirt road. And she actually got hit by a rock. And my spirit guides were like, yeah, that's what happens when you deny that you saw one. So, as she thought she didn't end up with a bruise, but she's like, it hit her that hard. And so she started yelling at it, and I'm like, don't do that. But I like when my guides told me what side of because this sounds strange, but I actually have a telepathic connection with these things, at least with some of them that are here in Payson. I've had full-blown conversations with one of them here. And they said, Lori, the one you sighted was actually the mate of the one that you talked to. And they had like a little, baby Bigfoot a couple of years ago.
Wow.
And so they're like, that's the one that's trying to show itself, or that was its mate. And I got out of the 4x4 and was walking around up on the hill because they said they're up there. But they're like, Lori, if they're interdimensional, you're not necessarily going to see them. So I just started kind of taking pictures, and I didn't get anything in the picture. But I did see its mate. And I've heard things on my porch at times too, and they're like, they are around you. So, and people have seen them walking through Payson and heard them, and like in Star Valley and in Payson. So it's not just me. There's a lot of sightings.
That goes along with my theory that they pick and choose who they want to see them.
And it's my guys keep saying we've talked about this. It's all about energy. I think if they can sense that you have the ability to see and you're open to them and things like that. But a lot of people that aren't necessarily open to them are starting to have experiences too, which is kind of interesting. It's they want to prove.
Yeah, I think the more people learn about it, the more their mind is open to it, and maybe, they'll have a sighting.
That's true. Yeah, there's a lot of people in Payson that have had sightings, and so people come up here just to try and see one. So, which usually isn't the case. You kind of have to give that some time. But I was surprised. I never expected to see one. And then when he had a rock thrown at us, I thought she was messing with me, but she's not like that. She's like, no, she thought she was going to get a bruise from it. It hit so hard.
Wow. I had rocks thrown at me, didn't I, David?
Yes, you did. During that last investigation we did.
I don't know if they were just thrown at me, but they were thrown and they went by my head. So,
if those things want to hit you, they can knock you. Where was it at? Where were you guys at?
Coogee Booger, just right down the road.
We were at a place called the Coogee. We call it the Coogee Booger. It's a little, what is it called? A stream. It's a well house with a.
Yeah, it's got a stream, or I guess you'd say a stream that comes straight up out of that well.
Oh, wow.
There, so yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I mean,
it's on film.
Yeah, we got it on film.
Yeah,
did you post it for your listeners to see, or?
Yep.
We were live when it happened.
Oh my gosh.
He's like, Dave, I'm not sitting here no more. I'm gonna go. And I'm like, no, we'll just swap places.
Well, David, I had told you guys both have beautiful properties, but Dave, I told you that that's what was on your property, and that's not too far from where you live. So you've got some interesting activity at your place too.
Yeah. Where every time we plant a rose bush or something pulls it back up and sets it next to the hole every day is weird.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. We had a good friend of ours, Corky. He asked you a question when you was talking earlier. He doesn't know what automatic writing is, so he was.
Oh, good question. So Corky, for some mediums, not like Cindy Cause, if anyone knows of her, she's been on a lot of different shows. I think she's really cool and really talented. I feel like she's the real deal, but she does that as well. So automatic writing is just obviously, for me, I just take a pen and paper. It's not on the computer, and I just start writing. If I just literally, I'll just start writing about anything just to get my thoughts going and get that process going. And then I might pick up on names, locations that'll come up on the paper, details. And the more I do it, the more details start coming out. So it's like just a stream of unconsciousness or subconsciousness coming out on the paper. And for some mediums, it works really well. That's one of the methods that I use for missing persons cases. It can really help. I will literally just get names of places and maybe names of people involved, suspects, things like that. And that can help the whole thought process get going. And then between that and remote viewing, those seem to be the best methods for me as far as trying to figure out where people are located.
Back when I was still driving truck, oh, you went to the Meadow. Oh, that's cool. So back when I was still driving truck, I had this little app on my phone that I had gotten, and it was a remote viewing app.
Oh.
And so it just gave you a set of numbers.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it gave you.
Coordinates.
Yep.
It
Well,
was,
sometimes it will be just,
Like-
sometimes it's coordinates, sometimes it's just numbers that get you going. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and they've got whatever it is that those numbers cooperate with.
Mm-hmm.
And so I used it as an exercise to be able to go to sleep at nighttime while I was on the truck. So I would sit there and just think of those numbers, just think of those numbers, think of those numbers. And when I would get thoughts in my head, it had like a little white board that you could write on your screen of your phone, and I would just jot down some stuff or whatever. And then when I think I got what it was, I would put what I thought it was. And then the next day they would tell you, what it was or not. And I was doing pretty decent. I think I was at like a 70%, 72.
Oh, that's really good, David. Yeah, I think you guys are both, but David, I think you're really intuitive. I think you've got that psychic thing going on, so you're pretty open.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed with it. I was like,
You just have the thing that's hard is you have to trust what you're seeing and hearing, and that's why they tell you don't go with your first visuals when you start doing it, because chances are that's not necessarily what you're really supposed to be seeing. And it takes a while. I think it took me 10 or 15 minutes to get into the remote viewing session that I'll tell you I had last week, and it was unbelievable. And this was not my imagination, because my spirit guides were like, no, this is really what you're seeing. And some of my spirit guides are former FBI agents, SWAT, military, and they were top of their field in remote viewing. And I asked Tom to come with me on this, but he's like, Lori, that was all you. That I had nothing to do with what you experienced. I was there with you, but so it's insane. You just really have to trust yourself.
yeah.
But I don't always. I think, okay, well, I'm not seeing or hearing anything. And they get mad at me. They're like, it's going to take a while. Sometimes you have to, you have to just, for 10 or 15 minutes, I was just like, I can't get anything. And then I saw myself in a mine. And then when you guys are ready, I can tell the whole story. But I told my friend Lucy, and she just was mind blown.
Yeah.
So this kind of relates to the dogman thing we touched on. But so I asked to go to this mine where we saw the Bigfoot, that I had the physical Bigfoot sighting, because I was something told me there was more going on at the mine. It's closed off, guys, for one thing. They don't allow anybody in the area. So I asked the universe to take me there. It took me about 10 or 15 minutes. And all of a sudden I kind of started focusing in on like a tunnel, like a regular mining tunnel. And I could feel my hands on the rock wall first. And then I felt my hand on like a wooden beam, like the support beams. And then all of a sudden I saw I felt a lot of energy around me. And I saw like an older Bigfoot. This thing was right in front of me. It was blocking everything out. And it looked like a big silver one, just huge, right in front of me. And my spirit guides were like, that's an older one that's standing in front of you. And I didn't feel threatened. But then there was something else there. I leaned down and I felt like a dog-like figure. And its fur was matted. It was really thick, kind of not spiky, but just really thick fur. And I kind of felt, it was on the back end. And then I saw like a wolf-like face. It was more like the body itself I was seeing originally. And I knew it wasn't a Bigfoot. And I heard, with the fur, I'm like, this can't be what I think it is. And my guides are like, you need to stop saying that because there's a dog man right there. And you're seeing it on all fours. And I'm just like me, like I work in IT for God's sake and cybersecurity. So that's why I have a tendency to doubt a lot of what I experience, because that right and left brain thing just really gets me. And so, but they're like, you have to trust. And so it literally was talking to me, and it said friend, it said Lori. And then all of a sudden, like the Bigfoot on one side, it was kind of on the other. And they started walking me down this mining tunnel. And I was asking the creature, I said, I didn't know there were dogmen here with Bigfoot. I thought it was just Bigfoot. And he's like, no, we're here with the Bigfoot. And I'm like, well, I've seen shows or, heard stories where you guys don't interact. And they're like, we do here. And I was like, oh my God. So we just kept, seriously. And my guides are saying that, Lori, there have been sightings of dogmen here. So we kept going down the tunnel. And it looked like it kind of turned to the right a little bit, but all of a sudden I was in this big open cave. And I'm like, okay, that's possible. There's a cave underground with the tunnels. It didn't look huge, but I think they said something like 20 foot wide. So straight across from me, I see like a juvenile Bigfoot leaning down. And it looked like he was drinking out of like a little pond or just a little thing of water. And then my guides kept saying, look to the right, focus your attention to the right. So I looked to the right, and there's a thermal spring with steam coming up. And I'm like, this is a mining tunnel. They're like, not anymore. They're like, you've just transitioned to something interdimensional. And I felt the cave walls. It's like when you're in a wet cave versus a dry cave. I had my hand on the wall, and I felt like a bulbous formation, and I had cool water running over my hand at the same time. And then this dog-like creature led me in, and he kept saying, come, come. And he was leading me into this thermal spring. And I could literally see the steam coming up from this spring, and he literally walked me into it. My guides were like, this is a healing spring you're walking into. And I felt myself leaning against it. It was kind of like, there wasn't a chair or a seat, but it was kind of like, I felt like I was kind of sliding into the thermal pond just because it was a little bit slippery on the edge. And what was really interesting, have you guys ever heard, or your listeners have seen in some photos, you get the people take photos and they're like the vertical bars that you see sometimes. I don't know if they're like, some people consider them to be like beings, interdimensional beings. They're like light, vertical bars of light. That's what I was seeing inside the thermal pond and all around me. And these were huge. These were not small. So it was like really bright rods of light. The rods is what people call them. And my guide's like, yeah, those are beings that you're seeing. And they're usually like, if you see them, that's because there's usually underground tunnels or water nearby. I guess those are the sources that those rods are attracted to, but they're like sentient interdimensional beings is kind of what I was getting when I saw them, but they were bright, and I saw them underwater and all around me. And I was like, oh my gosh, is that what people are seeing in pictures? And they're like, yeah, sometimes that's the case. But these look bigger than what some people see in pictures. But there's huge vertical rods, like bright glowing rods of light. So all of this was going on around me. And I'm like, this is definitely not a mining tunnel. And they're like, no, they're like, that's what some of these tunnels have. Some tunnels have the physical connection. There's a lot of mining areas out there, and they're like, Lori, some tunnels do connect between mines, but some it's just more like an energy connection. So in other words, maybe these interdimensional beings can go from one mine to another. And this, Manium is his name, the Bigfoot. And he told me, he's like, no, we actually kind of hang out in this particular mine, but we do go between mines. We can't actually travel between mines. And interdimensionally, I was out hiking today, and my guides are like, no, if you called them to you, they could interdimensionally show themselves to you, but they have to be attracted to that energy. There has to be an energy draw. Because I said, well, can they just go interdimensionally from one place to another? Like, no, it doesn't work like that. There has to be some kind of energy connection for them to do that. So, and I was out hiking for a couple hours today, and it got a little bit creepy in the forest, and it got really quiet. And because I was trying to call them to me, and they're like, just be careful, because if they do show themselves, these are not teddy bears that you're going to be seeing. But I mean, a lot of us are just, I'm into anything with the unknown. Of course, being a psychic medium, I've worked with paranormal groups and, I've got a lot of different experience. And so you want to experience stuff like that. Some people are afraid of the unknown. Well, people, newsflash, scientists are even saying there's portals out there now. They've proven it.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
there's just no way. It's too huge of a universe for there not to be things. And a lot of it is interdimensional now. I had some pretty interesting experiences sky watching recently, and we saw all kinds of things. Just some were satellites and some were planes, but there were things that were bouncing up and down, and a plane doesn't just bounce up and down. So it's, and they flash, and it's just, there's some that were literally moving all over the sky. And we saw a triangular object moving towards us with 3 lights in a triangular formation. It moved towards us and just stopped. So, just if you doubt that, especially in a place like Payson, there's really amazing places. You can get up and really see the sky and do some serious sky watching. And all you see is stars. Like half a mile from me, there's the airport, and that's one of the best places to go.
Yeah. I went right through there back when I used to truck drive, when we was going to go to from I-40 over to Mesa, Arizona, going that back road all the way through Payson and all that is actually quicker than going all the way up Flagstaff and hitting 17 and coming back down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And Payson's a beautiful area. The strawberry and pine are really close too.
There's some big old forests back up and through there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't realize going up that side of the mountain and everything, there's a lot of forest up there.
Yeah, that's then where we do the 4x4 riding around. There's where the Baby Doll Ranch is. There's a lot out there too, and yeah, it's easy to get lost back too. So yeah, but I never thought I'd see a Bigfoot. But yeah, that was. I wish it was for a longer period, but the 3 seconds was just like, oh my God. And then as soon as I thought to myself, okay, that couldn't have been what I saw. I must be seeing things. That's when they had the rock thrown. And so that's what was so interesting about it.
Yep. That's interesting. I mean, you're right there where all that is. I mean, you're really close to a lot of, there's a lot of big national park areas up through there.
Oh yeah, I've got the Tano National Forest and the Mazatlan Mountains, and there's any direction you go here. Star Valley, there's been a lot of sightings, and the ranchers out there have heard things and seen things. My friend Debbie lives out there.
American, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, there's been all kinds of activity out here.
When you're talking about portals, are you talking about a spiritual portal or an actual physical portal?
That's kind of an interesting question. I always think of it as a physical portal. I guess it could go either way. Like when I was doing some hiking in Sedona years ago, I was visiting a friend and she was working. And all of a sudden, everything just kind of went really quiet. There was no insects, no birds, nothing. And my guides are like, you're standing in one right now. That's usually a clue that you're standing in one, is when things go. And you hear that over and over in a lot of these different shows, and like including David's shows. And nothing happened. It was just more like a moment of silence. But that's one thing when you have a strong connection with your guides, because they will tell you when there's danger nearby. I was trying to go hiking on this one trail, and I started going hiking and heading uphill, and they stopped me and it said, they're like, you need to stop right now and turn around. And I'm like, why? And they're like, well, there's a mountain lion up there and it's detected your presence. And I'm like, okay, I'm out of here. So
it's going, what's for dinner?
Yeah, exactly. No, and you don't want to be those things. It's, and there's bears here too. It's not just mountain lions, there's bears, and so there are things you have to be careful. I always go hiking by myself because, but so it's nice to be able to talk to your guides for that reason, because you can sense from them if there's something wrong. And if there's a portal, they will tell me. They're like, you just walk through a portal. And sometimes they will have me walk through one because of the energy with it. They're like, it's got some good energy. So, and it sounds strange, but it's true. Some you might want to be scared of, and, make sure. I've had those too.
It increases like the intuition you have, I guess.
It could be.
Yeah.
That's an interesting perspective. Yeah, it might, depending on the portal. Yeah. And maybe that's why they have me walk through some. But, I mean, I know for me, the remote viewing thing has been pretty strong with abilities. I had something kind of strange happen today. There's a woman who was walking her dog, and all of a sudden it took off and ran straight towards me. And they came out from this one trail, and she's like, my dog picked up on you like a mile back. Like, I have this weird way with animals. And she's like, oh my God. And it sounded like the dog didn't know, but he approached me like he had known me for 20 years. And the dog was just like, no, he was bouncing all over the place. And I was petting him, and she got him, she was heading a different direction. So he ran off with her. But I was like, oh my God, that was weird. And my guides were like, no, because your remote viewing sessions are enhancing things. And so that's what's pretty interesting about it, because it's not just clairvoyance. Like I said, it's like you literally start learning to feel things and smell things. One of the YouTube videos I was watching, the government guy was saying he was doing a session, and they were focusing on the Superstition Mountains here and the Dutch gold mine and all that myth. And apparently they were focusing on, and they were talking to spirits. Apparently some of them actually connected with Jacob Waltz. And they were able to find out where the gold mine was, I think. And all of a sudden, he's like, there was 2 or 3 people in the class that he's like, they dropped out because they were so excited about where this gold was. They got gold fever and just didn't return. Apparently they got the GPS coordinates. I don't know how it happened, or if they just got like a remote sense of where it was located. But they were gone. He said they were like gold fever big time after that. So people don't realize that you can literally, with remote viewing, it's like you're like right there. It can go way beyond clairvoyance.
Right. Yeah, I'll tell you listening to Art Bell and stuff over all the years, when he was still alive and stuff, he had a guy on called his name was Major Ed Dames, and he was a remote viewer, and he had been on a lot for a long time. And that was kind of my intro into remote viewing. And a few years back, I was listening to Coast, and one of the weekend guys was on, and he had a remote viewer on. And this is what got me to want to download that app, because he was giving the audience numbers and then trying to see, and then having people call in to see if they could get what it is. And I'm driving a truck, so I can't do none of this, right? So I'm just driving. But all of a sudden, it's funny because it was like I was looking at something really, really close. So I got something that was like, I could tell it was a fruit. And it was kind of fuzzy, but I was too close to it. And so, but I'm driving, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, it just popped in my head. It's a peach. It's a peach. And because he was saying it's something that's right here, it's on my desk. And I'm looking at it right now. And then later on in the show, he's like, no one got close to it. And he was like, it was a peach. And I was driving going, whoa, that was pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, that's exciting when you start to get them. Like when I was doing some sessions on YouTube, I was picking up on one object that I wasn't even looking at or focusing on while I was doing another reading. And I was like, and then it felt like I was holding marbles or something small and round. And then it was a necklace, actually a turquoise necklace. And I'm like, that makes sense with the beads. But it's weird when you start picking them up on multiple ones. So yeah, that's really good if you can. And I think anybody can do it. It's just, you really have to trust and focus. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's definitely something that's teachable.
And it's pretty fascinating when you start hearing stories from the government people. And, that's why I have a lot of my spirit guides that are federal agents. And Native Americans too. I mean, we all have a variety of different people, but it's cool when you have feds behind you, and they're like, that's why we're here, because you're starting to come out with your remote viewing. This is going to be your purpose, and help with cases and solve crimes. They're like, that's what's coming for you. So you really have to trust. But Yeah, it's hard. That's what's hard. It's like you start seeing one thing that's like, okay, is that the road I'm supposed to be going down? And then it's like, no, keep focusing. But to even hear federal agents or government officials say, oh, yeah, we talked to ghosts and we talked to aliens, and that's mind blowing because these are like, you think they're scientifically minded. And so for them to say, okay, as remote viewers, this is what you do, that is so cool because that's kind of where I want to head. I want to work with groups to help them locate things like that, things that want to be found, I should say. But we're all fascinated by that. That's why you have so many listeners. It's amazing what's out there. You just have to open yourself to it.
So have you remote viewed to find anybody missing?
Yeah. I feel like I'm getting better at it. And like one guy was asking about the automatic writing, that actually helps come out with details. It's using different methods. Meditating, for me, it's meditating, automatic writing, and then the medium abilities and remote viewing.
Have you tried like the pendulum thing over the map?
Scrying.
Oh, that's a good point. That's what Todd does at the store Serendipity here. He kind of sometimes he'll answer people's questions. No, because my guides don't like me using pendulums.
Okay.
They're like, Lori, sometimes I'll do it for validation, but they yell at me when I do that. They're like, no, you've got the sense. You don't need a pendulum. They will yell at me for using one. But no, that's a good point, though. A lot of people are starting to do that. I've seen people do that, and it's pretty interesting. For me, I hear the voices, I start getting images, and it's just putting it all together. Sometimes I will use it for validation, but not a whole lot, which is why I do the remote viewing, because that's actually becoming validation.
Yeah.
So,
right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. So, back over to some of your archaeology stuff that you've been doing. Are you still going over to the place and doing some of that stuff with them, or
unfortunately, I don't think I told you guys, the Tom Foster, the one I had been working with, he actually passed away.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, it was. It sucked for everybody in Globe because everybody had a really strong connection with him. He was amazing. He was the director of the museum of Bullion Plaza. And just so the listeners know, I had worked with him. I'd gone out to a ranch, not right here in Payson. It's north off of 260, maybe an hour and a half from here. And that was like I think within 6 months, a year before he passed, I went out there with him and and he did a filming. He filmed me out there. We did a day shoot and a night shoot. And I was picking up on some really interesting supernatural things. I was telling him about the history. I was picking up on the settlers that I saw, the Native American, because there's Pueblos on that ranch. There are ancient Pueblos. And really, it's pretty cool. And so I was telling him what I picked up as far as the people. There was a shaman that was talking to me and walking around with us. So I was telling him about that person. I picked up on 2 different shaman out there. I was picking up on a lot of the native people, prehistoric people that were out there, the settlers that had lived on the land. And I was just telling them the stories. There was something supernatural I was picking up on that he even sensed and was kind of picking up on, because there was like a dog with red eyes out there. Like, I don't know if it was an actual devil dog or more but it was supernatural. It was like a spirit, but it was like kind of, I got the sense we weren't supposed to be there, and it was like leapt out of the canyon, kind of close to where we were standing. And my guide's like, "You need to leave. This is not anything to mess with." So we kind of stopped filming at that point. But it was really interesting. I just saw these glowing eyes. It was like, oh my god! But I don't think it was a devil dog. It was more like a cat. I know it was like some kind of shapeshifter, I think is what they said. So there's all kinds of interesting. That's a beautiful ranch. They actually let people come out there and stay. The owner does, and so there's archaeologists that go out there as well. They were doing digs at one point. I don't know if that's still going on, but yeah, there's a bunch of Pueblos out there. And then he had me do a reading on some guns. I do artifact readings. The first time I met Tom, he actually had me do a reading on a gun, and it was filmed. There's a filmmaker there in Globe, and so he came and did a filming on it, and I just told him the history I was picking up of the gun, the last owners, how many people had it, kind of how it had been found, all of that. And so that's how I started working more with him at the ranch and things like that. So yeah, I love doing archaeology related stuff and picking up information on artifacts. I did a reading on a gun. One lady came to me, she's a client, and she was blown away because I was telling her all the history I was picking up on. And she's like, yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. And yeah, that makes sense if she wasn't sure. And she has a huge ranch, beautiful place. I still need to go out and see her ranch. But she was just blown away. She told Phil when she walked out, she's like, oh my God. He's like, yeah, she's pretty amazing. So, there's a lot of talented mediums out there that are capable of this. It's not just me. If you have real talents, like you say you do, then a lot of us can do all of the same things. So my guides say not necessarily. They're like, Lori, you're fascinated by archaeology and that's your focus sometimes. So you might be better at it than other mediums who focus on other things. So, but yeah, I just loved going out to that ranch. I might have to call the owner and see about going back out just by myself, maybe. But
Right.
I wish we were closer.
I do too.
Dang, that sounds like fun.
I take the film company out there; they'd love it out there. Relic
Yeah,
Film.
yeah.
It'd be a heck of a drive to get out there.
Yes.
Well, I've been wanting to fly, so
Talking from a truck driver, I'll tell you, it's about 2.5 days if you only drive 11 hours a day.
Oh wow.
2.5 days to get there.
That's a long day though. But David, you're probably used to it. But still, that's a long day.
Yeah. Now, if you drove straight through, you get there in just a little over 24 hours. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's
no.
it's about 30 hours, I think. Well, I mean, to get to where Lori lives would be closer than, and I'm just talking, to go from our house or from where we live to Mesa, Arizona is about 30 hours. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it'd be less to get to Payson.
yeah, it'd be about an hour or two less.
Yeah.
how long did it take you to fly here, Lori?
I think it was like 4 hours.
Ain't bad.
It was something like 4. Yeah, I think it was 3.5, 4 hours, something like that. Yeah, that was a nice flight up. I mean, David and his wife didn't have fun driving around the airport. Yeah, that was. There was
When we took you back, when I took you back, I mean, it was pretty easy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys have trouble getting out of the airport?
No,
Oh, okay, that's good.
pretty simple.
As long as you stay in the right lane.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple of lanes there that's kind of screwy. They were doing some construction too.
Yeah.
But
Off the interstate, you mean?
no, in the airport.
Oh,
When
wow.
I took her back, I think I took you back, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did.
I
Yep.
did.
Mhm.
Yeah, there was some weird lanes there. They had some construction going on. So, do you watch Beyond Skinwalker Ranch?
Oh yeah. Anything having to do with Skinwalker Ranch,
So
I'm there.
there's a lot of
Yes.
different places out there that they talk about that has the same, capabilities or
And
the
that's like
same energy.
exactly, and that's like Bradshaw Ranch. A lot of people have heard of that, and that's in Sedona. I haven't been to Sedona in a long time. I actually found a rock from Bradshaw Ranch at a what is one of those, oh my gosh, not a conference, but this happens when you get old. I'm turning 60 in March. So. But it's where you go and find rocks. It's that kind. It's not a conference, but so I found a rock. I was walking around, and my spirit guides are like, "Well, head to that vendor there." And then they're like, "Okay, make a right, make a left." And then all of a sudden, I found myself in front of this rock that came from Bradshaw Ranch.
Huh.
And I asked the guy about it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we want they go out there every once in a while." And it was this big. Actually, it's right back there. It's a big, beautiful green rock. I'm like, I want that. I'm fascinated with all this. Some of my guides knew I'd want that. They're like, so they guided me right to it and told me, they're like, you might want to walk, you don't have to get it, but I think it was like $20 or something. They didn't charge me. And it's a huge rock. It's really pretty. It's got some crystals on it. And and they'll tell me if something's fake. They'll be like, okay, you don't pay that much for that dinosaur bone there because it's not really a dinosaur bone. So that's kind of cool to be able to get that feedback. But they're like, no, that's really from Bradshaw Ranch, and you're gonna want that. So I've actually got it in my living room. It's got interesting energy to it.
That's a funny. I've got a funny story that me and David we went to a place called the Witch's Circle,
Oh,
and we done a little investigation there. But on the way out, I noticed that there was a little rock sitting on a branch, just sitting there on the branch.
Mhm.
And so I still got that rock. It's in my car in the cup holder.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I still have it. I said, I'm taking it.
do you know what kind of rock it is, or
It's sort of like a flat. I mean, I really don't know.
is it real smooth? I'm getting something.
Yeah,
really
it's smooth.
Okay,
It's real smooth.
Yeah, it's almost like a river rock or something.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I love those. Okay.
Sort of grayish, with
That's
some
what I'm
white
getting.
lines in it.
Okay. Oh, really? So it's got the stripes in it.
Yeah.
I've heard those are like shaman's rocks. Okay, that's kind of cool. I love those. Yeah, they call those shaman stones.
Yeah, I thought I didn't know whether I wanted to take it or not, but I just decided, yeah, I'm going to take it.
Well, yeah, it could be like a good luck stone. Or
I mean, it was just sitting there like somebody put it there.
they probably did. That happens to me a lot. That was probably meant for you, Jason.
Maybe.
Yeah. Another place that's like that is one where Greg said that they went to, which is the Meadow. They said that they saw some fairy lights there. Is what he said.
Where's that? Well, that's cool. Where's that at? In Tennessee, I assume, or?
No, I think it's like in Georgia or somewhere. But it's one of those protected places. They don't tell nobody about it because it's their special spot. They don't want no one to come in and, I guess, disrupt things.
Wow.
Yeah. People can bring stuff people can bring their stuff there, and like manifestation. I mean,
well, it's a public place, but they do a lot of Bigfoot and stuff. But they see lights, they see UFOs, they see all kinds at the Meadow. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'll have to.
I'm not mistaken, there's like a show or there was something that was about the Meadow Project.
Yeah, just look up the Meadow Project and there's some videos on it.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Pretty interesting.
I've narrowed it down. It's either in Alabama or Georgia. One of those two.
Okay, I'm hearing maybe Alabama. Okay.
One of these days we might get to go.
Yeah.
We'll be able to
say. You guys should do a show out there, live show.
We'll have to sign a disclosure, won't we?
Oh, really?
They make you sign a disclosure and all that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, where's that Witch's Circle?
It's right here in Loudon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember you guys telling me about that when I was there, but there's so much to see and do up there. So it's
yeah. A week is not really even enough. You're in a hurry to just see part of the stuff that you pass more stuff to go into the other stuff to look at, but no, the Witch's Circle is Lucy's on here. She says hi.
My friend Lucy, yeah, she's the one that we went for that takes me 4x4, and she is freaking amazing. She's the director of the Humane Society here, and her energy, you talk about explosive energy, she's got it. So yeah. My brain went dead, so thanks, Lucy. Gem show. Trying to say gem show.
Yeah. That's the one that got hit by the rock when he saw it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she believes in all this too. And I gave her and her sister readings, I think 3 or 4 years ago is when I first met them. And one of the ending part of the remote viewing in the cave, when I said I came across the dog man and Bigfoot together, the ending part of that, she's going to start crying again, was her boyfriend who had passed away from cancer. He, guys, is transitioning into a totally different being. He is no longer human. And for your listeners, this happens more often than people realize. I have clients have come to me, I'm like, well, they're turning into an angel, or I'm seeing this, and like, that makes sense because they were like earth angels when they were alive. And this guy has amazing energy. At first I was seeing him as human, and she'd show me pictures, but I saw him even before she started showing me pictures, kind of what he looked like. But he's literally transitioning because he had strong connections with aliens. He had experiences with Bigfoot, with aliens. He was abducted. And so he's like another worldly being now. And I asked him when he showed himself in that cave, at first I saw like a brilliant golden light. It was a human figure. And then I saw wings going straight up.
Wow.
And I thought it was an angel. And my guides were like, no, it's not. He's not an angel. He's an otherworldly being that might look similar to an angel, but they're like, Lori, they really needed him. And so I think the universe needs him. It's like he's something about his energy. And that, I mean, you think, because he saw aliens a lot. I think he always had a lot of experiences with that stuff and with cryptids. And so it kind of makes sense that he's turning into something like that. And no, that doesn't, I think that's the minority, but he sounded, based on what Lucy told me, he was such an amazing person. And so I think that's why I kept thinking angel. And I asked him, I said, are you an angel? He said, no. He was like a really quick no. He's another worldly being, but people don't realize that that can actually happen on the other side. I don't know how, I don't know exactly why he's going through that transition, but I asked him directly, I said, you're no longer human anymore, are you? He said, no, you're not going to see me as the Hassan that Lucy knew. You're going to see me as this light from now on. And he wanted me to know that. So he literally, the last thing I saw in that cave was him and the bright light, and that was it. It was over. So,
Wow.
yeah. That's, people don't understand.
I really believe that. I believe when we leave this earth, we go to our energy form.
Exactly.
And we're able to traverse the universe.
That's a good point, Jason. That's a good way to put it.
I think we are. We're able to travel anywhere we want to and be what we want to be. But it's just good to know that there's something else after death. I know that for a fact now.
Oh, yeah. And a lot of people, it's getting harder and harder to deny that, because even on these investigations, we'd have our doubters, which is good. We welcome those.
Mm-hmm.
But then even the people that would be doubters coming in to those investigations with us would walk out saying, oh, my God, I'm not sure I'm doubting as much as I did. Some still were, and that's okay. We need people like that to keep us honest. But as a medium, it's just, I see and hear things that I can't explain to other people. And it was really good to work with AZ Ghost Adventures because, you know, the owner did believe, people did believe me. They knew what I was capable of. But everyone had their own experiences. It wasn't just me as a medium going in and saying, okay, this is what I'm seeing and hearing. You had guests who would have their own experiences that could validate what I was seeing and hearing, or just the opposite. Or they might disagree and saying, no, I'm getting this perspective. So that's actually what makes investigations really interesting.
Yep.
So... I mean, you don't have to have a psychic medium on your team. You can get that interesting. I believe a lot of paranormal investigators have a very intuitive side, or else why would they be doing it? I think they open themselves up to it. And you may not think you're psychic, but I think a lot of investigators are. I'm going to be honest. I think a lot of them are, and they're just not necessarily really open to it.
I think David is. I think David is very
I think
intuitive.
Yeah, he is.
That's what they used to call psychics, was intuitive people.
Yeah.
You know, I think I'm opening mine up a little bit by doing things, and I'm learning a lot of stuff.
I don't want to call myself or even say that I'm psychic, but I do.
Intuition.
I think I can. I know I could see ghosts. I mean, I've always had that gift, but. You know, when it comes to everything else, I don't know. I mean, I can feel things too, though. Like I could go into a place and I can feel the
energies,
and all that.
You can discern good energy, bad energy. You can tell the difference.
Yeah. I think anybody can, Jason. I feel like you can. I'm hearing that you're kind of opening up as well to some of this. I don't know if your wife is. I'm hearing something about your wife. So, I don't know if she's kind of opening up or having experiences, but they said something about your wife. So
she may be. I've not really talked to her a lot lately because I've been working and she's been working. But
no, okay.
Yeah, he got a promotion at work, so he's working.
Oh, congratulations!
Working a lot more.
Well, hopefully. I mean, I got the promotion and stuff, but I don't know if I'm gonna love it. You know.
Yeah, it can be hard. Yeah, especially if you're manager or supervisor, it's not. Yeah, that can be something new right there. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not the management type. Just, you know,
I don't know what I am. I'm easygoing. That's it.
Well, that's a good thing. You guys both are. I feel like a lot of your listeners are too. So
Yeah, we
Yeah.
just coast through.
Yeah, I think if you're doing
It's
something
okay.
wrong, I can tell you you're doing it wrong, and
Yeah.
you may get better, you may not. That's about it.
yeah,
That's funny.
and you've been at the same company for a while, right?
Oh yeah, this makes this time I've been there 13 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, 13
Okay.
years. But I worked there in the late 90s too for 3 or 4 years, and I worked with David, quite a bit.
Is there something going on the land where you work, Jason? I'm getting something at the land where you work.
Well, actually, next door there's a landfill.
Oh, okay.
They're
Well,
building like this big old mountain of just I don't know.
Trash.
It's
It's trash. It's
yeah.
No,
all
well,
trash.
it's not. It's not that. No, it's something with the energy on the land.
It's the place is on a nice piece of land. I mean,
Okay. All right.
I
That's-
don't know.
It's stinky, but it's nice.
Yeah.
I wasn't really thinking about the landfill, but it's like there's something going on there, whether it's the building itself or the land or something about the land.
I have to check that
So
out.
yeah. I mean, you guys have, like I said, there's a lot of mythology, and that's a beautiful area. I mean,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there's history everywhere. I don't care if you're in the middle of the city. There's history there. There's history. People come to, I'm experiencing this. It's like, well, it's not your house. It's associated with the land. So people don't realize how much of an impact that has.
Right. Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, where we live at right here in Loudon, not too far away, back in the day this was literally as far west as you could go and be in the United States.
oh.
This was it. Loudon, Tennessee, on this side right here, because the fort was just right down the road from here, by Sequoia's birthplace.
Oh yeah.
Everything like that. There's the fort and everything. We took you to see the fort.
Oh
Now,
yeah. That's
the
really
actual
cool.
fort was kind of across the river from where that one that they've kind of built to show you what
The
it was like.
museum, yeah.
But that was the furthest west you could come and be in America. at
Oh
that
wow.
time. So yeah. So there's a lot of history here.
Are you guys doing a lot of live investigations, or have you worked with Relic Films, or?
No, we're wanting to work with Relic Film some, and
That makes a lot of sense for you guys, yeah.
I'm sure at some point it'll work out. But but I think Jason's been finding us some pretty good places to go do some live investigations.
Wow.
We've got something that we're going to do here pretty soon that's going to be a shock and awe for a lot of people. Jason just bought something and we're going to use it live, and people are going to be a little freaked out about it, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Why do you say that?
Especially if it works.
It'll work. I promise you, Jason, it'll work. I know it will. Especially where we live, the people around here, if they catch wind of it, we'll start getting labeled, devil worshiper and all kinds of stuff again.
Uh-oh.
Just for doing this. This is all it would take right here.
Well, that sounds interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty I don't know. It's rough around here to be a paranormal investigator, especially in this town.
Really?
But-
Because so many people
we've
are
been
opening
shut
up to it, but
Yeah, we've been shut down from a couple of investigations because of it.
oh really?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Straight up. Nope. Can't do it.
Oh my
We
god.
were like not far away from having to be able to do the investigation to them contacting us and saying, nope, never mind. We can't do it now.
The owner decided no.
Yeah.
And that's what I worry about. I was telling Lucy with the Baby Doll Ranch, because like with the Forest Service owning it, would they really want me as a medium saying, well, do you know you got all this weird stuff going on? I mean, I don't honestly, Forest Service doesn't usually remain open to stuff like that. It's, yeah, I saw an interdimensional being out there and it was this. So some people are open. A lot of people are open to the Bigfoot thing around because a lot of people see and hear it. I think Lucy was bummed because I caught like 3 seconds of it and she didn't. She wasn't able to see it. She was focused on the road, but she experienced the rock that was thrown at her. So
Well, she got to experience something then.
yeah. Not in
I'm-
as quite as good of a way if you get thrown a rock thrown it, but that was just weird, the timing, because I told him, like, that can't be what I saw. I'm sure I was just seeing things, and then she got hit with the rock. She starts yelling at it. She's like, "Hey, I'm not the one that doesn't believe. Don't throw the rock at me." I was like, "Don't yell at it." It's
You
funny.
know, I'm trying my best to
make it
see
bad.
something because I went and bought me a dash cam.
Oh yeah.
It videos to the sides and to the front, and I've got to catch something. And I've been going to these places riding around. It's pretty way out in the forest. But
I'm hearing Joyce they're telling me you'll experience something. It might not be Bigfoot initially, but I don't know if it's lights or something, or they'll think you're going to experience something big, but I don't think it's going to be Bigfoot right away.
Jason, do not step into the portal.
yeah, like
Yes, please. I want to know what it's like.
yesterday, like me and Roy went all the way to North Carolina on the back roads. And
Oh.
Go
we-
gambling.
No, not yet. We're going to go though. We're going to go to the casino.
I know
Maybe
you, Cherokee.
Well, what happened to you guys at the witches circle? And you guys said you went to a witches circle?
That
Well,
was-
nothing really happened. I mean,
I heard.
We
Are you
did-
sure about that? Did you
We
feel anything out there?
it
Something was there. Something was
it
there.
was a little weird. Like, we didn't catch anything on any of the cameras, any of the audio, the spirit portal or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
But now the SLS camera,
Mm-hmm.
we caught a bunch of entities.
I was gonna say, because I'm getting something watching you, like something dark. Okay.
Yeah. And that was pretty interesting. I mean, it's a beautiful place. It's right on the Tennessee River and everything
Oh.
like that. But
Yeah.
supposedly back in when was it, Jason? The 70s or 60s or something like that.
yeah, somewhere back in the 60s, 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Supposedly.
there was a supposedly witch that took a baby from a pregnant lady and nailed it to the tree, and the tree's there. I mean, we
heard
seen
about
the
that.
tree,
Okay. All right.
and
Okay.
but we did have something happen to us. It was deathly quiet.
Mm-hmm.
It was weird.
Remember?
A single sound, and I kept telling, I was like, this just isn't, it's weird because, like, you walk through, I don't know, what do you say, Jason, a quarter of a mile of forest before you get there?
Yeah, maybe not that far, but
There wasn't a squirrel.
nothing.
There's not a bird singing in a tree, not a cricket, nothing. It is dead quiet. Dead quiet. Now you could hear where the river was,
Mm-hmm.
like bird or things going on, but when you're going through those woods, going to the place, it's eerily quiet, very eerily
Yeah,
quiet.
it was eerie.
Yeah.
That's usually kind of a sign. I don't know. I kind of wonder if it's always that quiet right in that area.
I don't know. I'll tell you what's weird is that up to we got to where you have to park, we had seen 8, 10, 12 deer on the way there. And I mean, to not even see a squirrel. I mean, you're in the woods and not even to see a squirrel here, that's pretty crazy.
Well,
Especially-
yeah. Especially with squirrels, that's something. Yeah, they're all over my trees outside here. They're all over the place. So yeah, that is kind of strange.
Yeah, because I mean, we went in, it was daytime because we set things up, getting ready for it to get dark, and nothing.
Now, the witches circle, is that where there was a woman killed out there, right? When they took the baby from her, was she? Or was
Supposedly,
it just they killed the woman somewhere else? I can't remember because I remember hearing about the story. Wasn't she killed out there, the mother of the baby?
Oh, it's been a while.
I'm hearing yes. I'm hearing yes.
I
From
know.
you.
Yeah, I think she was killed, but they took the baby from her and nailed the
Okay.
baby to the tree.
I remember hearing that because I'm
Killed her,
getting
baby.
because I think you guys were being watched by. I'm getting a dark shadow, but then it's like they're saying something about the mother that was killed being out there. So
Yeah.
so you guys were being watched by something.
Yeah, it was weird. But it was kind of a cool place to be at nighttime.
Yeah.
And you could tell that a lot of people still do what we did as as youngins. They go out there and it's a party haven
Shoot
too.
guns and party.
Oh
Yeah.
wow,
There's
that
So
stirs things up.
there's shells everywhere and beer bottles everywhere and old fire pits everywhere. And
Is that a sacred site by any chance? Do you know? I'm hearing grave sites out there.
I mean, it's right by the river.
Okay.
This all was Cherokee land, so there's
Okay.
very possibility that things could have been buried and stuff out there. Because when it's low like it is right now, you could usually walk those banks and find arrowheads and everything all the way out through there.
Because I'm just wondering if that's why the baby was nailed to the tree. There's something about that particular spot, though, as to why that was used. I think it is still used for certain purposes that aren't necessarily really positive.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
I think a few people have done some rituals there too.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Yeah. They draw upon that energy that's already not so positive, and which is really unfortunate.
It's crazy. But yeah, we've done quite a few live investigations that's turned out pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think one of the better ones though was one that it wasn't live. And we went to a lady that was having some issues and we went to her place and we actually got to help her out. Have you talked to her anymore, Jason?
No, not after I sent her the sage and stuff. I haven't talked to her.
Yeah. So Jason made this spirit portal box. And it's a pretty neat little device. And it allows you to, more or less, it allows you to talk to spirits
Through radio waves.
where they can hear, where you could hear them speaking back to you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And this woman had a 10-minute conversation with her dead husband.
It was
wow.
wild.
It was amazing. She was crying. So yeah, it was pretty amazing.
Sometimes you have to be careful with those. I think in this case it really was, but sometimes you have to be careful because you can have something not so nice coming through on those that make it seem like it's a child or another person, like a deceased person that you want to connect with, but it's not. I think with her it really was though. Because I'm getting that he was saying things that only she would. Of course, if you're something demonic or something negative, you would know too. It would sound like, but
the funny part about it is that there were a lot of voices coming through, but she found the one that sounded exactly like his voice.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do.
Yeah, it is because there's so much static on those two
Yeah.
at times, and
Yeah.
wow, that's really cool that she was able to connect.
Yeah, and we heard the whole conversation, and she just was in tears, and it just the feeling you get when you help somebody, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you guys are able to do that. That's awesome. That's much better than like talking to a medium and getting validation. It's like that's direct. that's even better. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, she got to hear his voice talk to her
Wow.
and tell her he was okay and everything. So it was a conversation, 100%.
Wow. Did you guys
Yeah.
both hear it or?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. We not only heard it. I mean, I've got audio of it, but it's just not something that we're going to play because it's that's her personal stuff and.
Oh no, yeah, no, that's.
But it's interesting in the case because for the first time we've used these devices millions of times, but when you're using like an SB7 spirit box, because that's the brains of the operation of
Yeah.
that spirit portal. You know, it's just cycling really fast through radio stations. So you don't get something talking. You just get or
Yeah, bits and pieces. Yeah.
you know. And so when you get that, and then when you're doing investigations, you're used to hearing one word answers usually. And maybe every once in a while you'll get a couple of words, but that's it. Not this time. This time it was multiple words, and it was
Full
all
sentences.
it was all in the same voice too. That's what was amazing is if it's cycling through channels, you're not going to keep the same voice. If it's that's you know, trying to say go on the debunking side of it. If it's something coming through that's an actual radio, as it's cycling through, because we usually have it set to like 120 seconds or something like that. So it's like it's literally going through channels like you're not going to get the same voice talking, you know.
Yeah, it's always different ones, or they might come through every 30 seconds or so, the same one. But yeah, that's amazing. So he must be really strong on the other side to be able to connect with her like that.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of emotion there, and I think that there was a lot to draw on. You know, that night, I caught something really good with the SLS camera. That was pretty amazing. And we had our camera, Jason's camera. We had to change the batteries in it twice. It just drained. One of the digital voice recorders went completely dead. It drained the batteries out of it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I mean, it was just draining and draining and draining and draining stuff.
Oh, and that can explain why. I mean, if he was using his energy to, I don't know if it was a sudden death. I'm hearing something about a sudden death. I don't know if his was sudden but yeah, that's pretty cool that she was able to connect with him for so long.
I think one of the spirits there was a sudden death.
Okay.
It was a suicide.
Okay.
But not her husband, but somebody else that she knew.
Yeah, because she had not only him, but another family member or something like that come through also.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just kept hearing sudden death, and I didn't know if it was him or somebody else. Yeah,
it was interesting, and I really hope we get to do another one like that at some point. You know.
Oh, I'm sure you will. You guys are getting a lot of listeners, and you've getting yourselves out there. So I'm sure you might have more people approaching you for that. So that's awesome.
we finally hit 7,000 on Facebook, right? Or probably more now.
Yeah, we're almost 7,100. So almost.
Well, that's fantastic. Wow.
Yeah.
So you guys don't need sponsors. Who needs a radio? I mean, you guys are kind of doing good on your own. So that's all.
Well, you know, when we first met, Lori, me, David, and I, and you, we were having to pay for everything out of our pocket. But now it's paying for itself. I mean, barely, but it's doing it. And that's all we want is for this to pay for itself.
And it will. I think my spirit guides, I said, no, they have a lot of listeners. They seem to be doing well. They're like, yeah, they're doing better than they would have with a sponsor probably. And it's going to get better for them. So I feel like, I don't know if there's an initial reason for, them approaching you, the original station, but yeah, they had been talking about getting you guys sponsors for a while, and it just never seemed to pan out. So
yeah, it was a flop.
It panned out in their favor because we still had to pay them, and so.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Whether they got us sponsors or not, they got paid. So. But.
We're doing good.
Hey, it is what it is.
You guys are doing good now, though. So.
Yeah, as long as we can do what we love to do, and
that's it.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all that it's about, anyway. I mean, Jason and I, when we started this in 2012, it wasn't about anything but just having fun.
And you guys are helping people too, and so
yeah. Well, and that's kind of what it's grown into since we changed and rebranded to Paranormal 411. It seems like we've changed a lot on how we do things, and the kind of the focus of the shows a lot of times are are for stuff like that. It's more for just getting the information out and helping as many people as we can.
And it's just sharing knowledge too, and you have a lot of really interesting guests, and everybody has their own perspectives. And when I watch a lot of the different shows, paranormal shows, whether they're cryptids or Bigfoot or Nessie or UFOs. I mean, a lot of it seems to be tying together these days. I mean, you consider Bigfoot. Some people think he's kind of an alien, and a lot of people like here, the Bigfoot that I was talking to telepathically is like he even said, "No, I'm interdimensional." So
That
most
makes
of them
sense.
are. He says most of us are. So
That makes sense to me, though, because I mean, the Native Americans, and this is culture to culture to culture. It's almost the same all the way across, but they all believe that he walked in both worlds, so that he was an interdimensional creature. He walked in this world and the spirit world is what they called it. But
yeah.
you know,
And it's not, when you think about the alien encounters too, a lot of people, they see spaceships and stuff, but then the spaceships are like almost like they have their own intelligence. They move in a certain way. It's almost like amoebas, or they have their own forms. They're not just like a solid craft. And you see crafts that are going in and out of clouds, or there's clouds that are essentially formations, or you see interdimensional beings like I saw at the ranch. I didn't see a spaceship. They were just there. I just saw it standing there. So they can come in and out like that too. And it's not just Bigfoot that people are experiencing this. Everything is it's like a sense of oneness. It's mind blowing. It's like you guys were asking earlier on the show, is walking through a portal. What does interdimensional mean? Does it mean if you walk through a portal, you go into another world? Does it mean like a multiverse, like something similar to what we're in now, only a different version of yourself? I mean, it's mind blowing. I don't think scientists will ever be able to figure that out. It's just, I hope not. I mean, I always want to be able to have that curiosity, to be able to have answers to everything is not so fun. I don't think that's, I think to leave you guessing and to just wonder, we're not supposed to have the answers to everything.
right.
No.
I think we're going to have to be in a different plane of existence to know
Yeah.
everything, or at least more of everything.
And even my spirit guides are like, Lori, even though we're dead, I mean, we're in the astral plane, some are above, depending, but they're like, we don't even have all the answers or know everything. When I saw what I experienced with Lucy's deceased boyfriend, with him with the light being, they were even mind blown with that. They were like, oh my gosh. They're like, there's some native shamans you have that are pretty powerful that don't even understand why he's getting to this level. So what is it about him? So it's just like Jason, like you said earlier, we're all going to kind of be our own thing when we do pass over. And I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. Okay, I used to be really afraid of death. Now I'm starting to realize, you know what? I don't think it's necessarily a really bad thing. So
Exactly. I was scared to death of death.
Yeah,
I thought I was dying when I was around 21, 22. I thought I was dying, and it scared me to death. But now, and I have all these problems now with my health, but I'm not scared. I know through what me and David have uncovered, what I know now, I'm not scared.
Well, and then it's hard for me because my whole life I've seen spirits, and so I know for a fact there's something else out there other than this. I know because I've seen them.
Yeah.
And so death has never bothered me because of the fact that I know all this is just a shell. It's a automaton or whatever you want to call it, and the real me is just controlling this thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So we will be who we're meant to be after this. And but what do you think, Lori, about like reincarnation and things like that?
Well, as a medium, I think a lot of us, we're kind of forced into it because for my spirit guides, I've been told, they always tell me, I just found out today when I was walking around at the airport, it's one of my favorite walks. They're like, Lori, because I love being at the airport. I love looking at the planes as they go overhead. The closer they are, the better. And they're like, do you realize that you flew a plane and you worked search and rescue to find missing people?
Wow.
And I about dropped on the ground. I said, are you kidding me? Because now I'm working as a psychic medium helping to locate people. They're like, yeah, it's just a different perspective. And
Right.
I didn't know
No.
that. I'm like, why am I so fascinated by planes? They're like, you flew one and you were search and rescue.
Right.
And I just found that out today. So that's a good thing about being open to the other side and really trusting and listening, because you find stuff like this out.
Right.
I never knew that. And I'm always finding things out from the other side. So I definitely believe in reincarnation. And when you watch some of these stories with parents who have kids who are in touch with that, and they may have nightmares or dreams constant about who they were. Like, I think one kid was a soldier or something in one of the wars, and I think he was relating a plane crash or something, and there's a series on it. I think it's Netflix or Prime Video that talks about that stuff with kids. And so they're really susceptible to it. And same with anybody, with people. A lot of people have dreams that are spiritual and they're open to that. And so I absolutely believe in reincarnation. Some people think, oh, I've only had a couple past lives. And I can actually sit there and tell you how many you've had. And I can list off some of them, not all of them, because what people don't realize is we've had hundreds. Some people have. Some people might have only had 10 or 20, but a lot of people have had an average of 200. I mean, I've picked up on clients that have lived, they crossed the Bering Land Bridge to come over here. They lived in the Ice Age, for God's sake. And there's not too many clients I picked that up on, but there's 2 or 3 that I did. And that's just fascinating. And then people kind of start getting into history more when they learn stuff like that. So I absolutely believe in reincarnation. I mean, I never thought about it much before, but once you start getting these abilities and your own guides start saying, okay, this is what you were, this is why you've got these memories and these abilities, and you're bringing that forward. And that's mind-blowing to think, okay, at one time I flew a plane to help find missing people. Now I'm on the other end of that, the other spectrum of that.
Wow.
So
I know David's got a story he wants to tell about his past, but what was I gonna say? Shoot. I have something. Oh, I was gonna ask a question about do you think this planet, where we're at now in the universe, is a learning station? Do you think that we're sent to these lives, to these bodies, to learn, and once we get to a certain once we learn everything and we've raised our vibrations, do you think that then we go on to something else?
I heard a strong yes. I mean, a learning station, that's kind of an interesting term. Absolutely. And that's the whole thing with reincarnation. Like, I've had so many past lives. A lot of people have. Some might not, but a lot of the clients that I do readings for usually have an average 150 to 200 past lives, and it's mind-blowing, but absolutely.
Yeah. I think once we raise our vibration enough and learn everything that we need, I think we go on to be with the source of whatever it is.
And my guides told me, they're like, Lori, this is your last life on Earth. At one point they were saying that, they're like, you're going to be, once you pass away, you're going to be done on this planet. But then my otherworldly beings are coming down going, no, we need you. Yeah. So now it's kind of like, okay, there's some otherworldly beings, Arcturians maybe, that I'm going to be reincarnating as. I don't know. I'm getting a strong yes now. So before, my spirit guides, this was a while ago, they were saying, no, you're not going to reincarnate. And now they're like, yes, you are. We need you. So it depends on the person, Jason. Not everybody is like, everyone thinks, okay, I'm just going to go from this life into another life. Not necessarily.
Right.
I've talked to clients who say, no, I know I'm not supposed to keep going. And a lot of people don't, because there is so much suffering on this planet. A lot of us don't. I want to be done myself. I'm going to be honest. I don't want to go through this again. And a lot of people feel like this. So it's just, we're all living on hell, essentially, on Earth. We all have, it's just, that's what it's like to be human, unfortunately. But there's a lot of good things about it. But yeah, I mean,
when it comes to stuff like that, what's funny to me is the fact that I think, while we're here, it's the old adage, you can't see the forest for the trees. And, but when you're not here, the reason you choose to come back every time. And you know that you have to, for whatever X reason is. And, but we get back here and we're like,
Do you actually
Waking up
think?
and you're back in kindergarten, you know, and you're
Do
like,
you think we
Yeah.
choose if we come back or not, David?
yes, I really
Yeah.
believe we
There are
choose.
sometimes there are literally contracts that you will come back and help and do this,
Hmm.
whether it's to write books to educate people, as a speaker to educate people, or just helping people in general. I mean, yeah, I'm not everybody knows their purpose. I don't even know my purpose in this life at times. I mean, as a medium, yes, I'm helping people with missing persons, so I think that's a big part of it. But my guides are like, that's not all. You
Right.
don't know what your purpose is, and I think that's how everybody is. We don't necessarily know a lot of us are feeling so lost. It's just like,
Yeah.
why is this happening? Why am I still working 9 to 5 when I could be doing my purpose full time? You know what I'm saying? Because I know mediums who are literally mediums full time. They have so many clients, they're backed up. But I don't, I know that's not my purpose because it's not, no offense, but I have some good clients. A lot of them are good, but some of them literally want you to solve their life's problems for them. They
Hmm.
want you to tell them what they want to hear, and I'm not like that. I may be a medium, but I'm not going to tell you that everything's going to come up roses if that's not what I'm hearing.
You're
I'm not
not
going to.
you're
No,
not the 1-900 mediums
no,
that used to be.
exactly. And that's what, as a medium, you deal with. Now, a lot of my clients are really good. That's the minority, but the last one I had was like, I'm not. I want to be a medium full time, but more so for missing cases to help solve crimes. I don't, and to work with groups for locating cryptids and educating and things like that. But I don't, to sit there and do readings full time. It's guys, it's draining. It can be brutal. And I'm not saying I don't want to help people like that, but
Um,
to do that full time, I don't know how some mediums do it.
Yeah.
You have to cleanse yourself constantly. Just the energy is so draining.
mhm.
And I just think my life's kind of supposed to head in a different direction. So my dream is to go out to Skinwalker Ranch, to go out to places like that, to explore and let people know, okay, this is what's out here. This is why it's happening. Yes, you do have a spaceship under the earth. You've got interdimensional beings. So I can actually pick up on stuff like that. Lucy can tell you. Strange things happen around me. She's been posting it in the chat. She's like, Lori, how all these bizarre things happen when I'm with you. It's like, yeah, my energy is building up.
Yeah. She
So,
said you and her dog Mishka
yeah.
had past lives together.
Yeah, I mean, her dog just literally, like what happened with the dog today that I was hiking, it just ran up to me like it hadn't seen me for 20 years, like it knew me. And her dog is, she's like, Lauren, my dog just doesn't react to anybody like that. It'll roll over when I walk in the door and I'll be rubbing its tummy and it's just, and then, like she'll bring it over and it'll knock on the door and it wants in my house. And my guides are like, no, you've had a number of past lives with that dog. So, and I've started to see some. So that's, people don't realize how past lives. That's what I started doing as a medium, is doing past life readings, and I could pick up on stuff like that, and maybe let people know who they were in a past life. And there's just the history, and it's like if you're not interested in history before a reading, you will be after one, because when I tell you who you were, like if you're from Egypt or, you know. Asia, or I've had so many interesting readings as far as past lives. And then people are like, yeah, that makes sense because I like that part of history. So
It's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to tell your past life before we have to head out, David?
I could.
Yeah, go ahead.
When I was a kid,
I like hearing it.
well, when I was a kid, I was raised ultra Christian. So we didn't even have a TV in our house until I was a teenager, because TV was of the devil. And that's literally how I grew up. And I went to a Christian private school. I couldn't have friends unless they went to church with me. We went to church 7 days a week because there was a prayer meeting every morning. So we'd have to go to prayer meetings every morning. They would hold special churches on Saturdays, or it was a get-togethers is what they were, but they'd watch movies like, The Serpent and the Rainbow and things like that, these Christian movies. And so I'm saying that to say that there's no context for why I dreamed the things that I was dreaming, or or what happened to me when I would go to sleep at nighttime. So because there was no contact with old World War II movies or anything like that. And I used to, it started off, and I was probably about 9, 10 years old, but it started off with me um, getting shot down out of a plane. I'd be sleeping on the top bunk of the bed, and my mom said she'd hear me in there, and I'm talking back and forth to somebody, and then I'm like, "Oh, I'm hit, I'm going down," and then I would jump off the top bunk,
Oh, wow.
and land on the floor, and then she'd run into the room because she thought I'd done rolled off the bed, and I was just standing there, and then I just get back up on bed and go right back. I mean, I never even woke up from it, and but probably the craziest thing that happened to me was my stepdad and myself went to a Boy Scout. It was a sleepover thing that we went and had to go pitch tents and did things that you do in the Boy Scouts, right? It's all the crazy things is shooting bows and tying knots and all the stuff.
Yeah.
But it was a whole weekend. But I remember pitching my pup tent, and my stepdad had his own tent next to mine. And going to bed that night, and the next thing I know is I wake up and I look down and I'm in just all green. And I hear bombs going off, machine guns and stuff going off. And I could smell sulfur in the air, which is gunpowder. And I've got a gun in my hand. And so I take off running. Now, this is West Texas, right? This is Odessa, Texas. And so it's the middle of the night. Now, to me, it's not. I'm somewhere else. It's daytime and I'm getting shot at. And so I'll jump down and I'll fire back. And then I was getting up and running. And then I could hear like bombs going off and even sometimes bullets whizzing by me, just poof.
Wow.
And what finally woke me up is I was probably about a mile away. And living out west, you kind of know there's thorns everywhere. Well, I was barefooted. And what woke me up was the fact that my bottoms of my feet were just full of thorns.
Oh,
and
my gosh.
that's what finally woke me up. And so I sat there and picked all the thorns out of my feet and walked back to my tent and went back to sleep. But it wasn't the fact that I could just, I mean, I was a different person. I was wearing just green fatigues. But I could smell it, taste the sulfur in the air. It was
Oh, my gosh.
yeah, it was amazing.
That's pretty intense. I mean, not too many people have an experience like that. I think I remember you telling me about that before, too.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was I don't know. It was different. That's what I'll say. And I've never had another one since, though. Never. That was it.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Or maybe you could have had dreams and just not everybody remembers dreams. But I have some pretty vivid ones that I remember, but none of us remember all our dreams. So, David, you have pretty vivid dreams too. I think I've talked to you about that.
Yeah, I've had vivid dreams. Real vivid dreams. I think I had an OBE, but maybe not an OBE, maybe near death. I don't know what it was, but I was on the ceiling floating.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Those can be kind of scary. Yeah.
It was scary. I was fighting to get back into my body. And I finally did. And as soon as I did it, I woke up.
You might have had a couple. I'm hearing you've had a couple of those.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I want to do that. And man, that's terrible.
Just think if I would have went further through the roof, I could have went anywhere probably.
Oh yeah, that's how. And some people, there's like an astral cord that's supposedly on your body. There's different points on your body it can be, and like what scares me is like I've heard stories about if that cord breaks from your body, then you're kind of on your own out there floating around. But some people say they can do that. Like some people actually do out of body. During the daytime, they literally can just sit down and meditate, and then they're gone. It scares me. I've done it. Yeah, I've done it. We all do it at night. We all do it.
I may have done it when I was younger, because I do remember some dreams of me flying, just flying around.
I
I'm
had
sure
those.
that, may have happened then.
My wife and I talk about those all the time, about us having those flying dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes,
we
is
got
that-
about 6 minutes left.
Yeah.
So, Lori, if you want to give out your information to everybody and
Yeah, so I'm on, I have 2 different Facebook pages, Lori Hines Psychic Medium, and then just Lori Hines. I do have a WordPress site as well. There's a blog. I have some article about Bigfoot on there from the UFO perspective. That was written a while ago, but I've got some interesting articles on there about angels and spirit guides and all of that. I can give out my email, which is the LH_author, AUTHOR @yahoo.com. My Relic Films was asking for my information to work with me, so that's fantastic. I can give you guys offline my phone number to give to him as well, if that's easier.
yeah, when we get done here, just stay on.
Okay. I'm trying to think. I haven't been on as much on Facebook, but I'm trying to get back on. He says, "Good, David, your info." Okay. So I think that's it. Mainly the 2 Facebook pages. I do post to Instagram. If I post to Facebook, I think it goes to Instagram automatically. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Lori, we want to thank you for coming on. It's been a
coming
great show. Yeah.
Been
I
a while.
appreciate you guys. Yeah, it's been over like 2.5 years since I talked to you guys. I thought you
Yeah.
guys were dropped off the face of the earth or something. So I was glad to hear from you guys.
We're still
went to a black
here.
hole. Yeah.
I know
You guys are heading places, I know.
we'll do it again soon, and maybe I'd like to go out there sometime. It's a bucket list.
Definitely. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, there's a lot of places here too that I could take you to. Lucy and I will take you to the ranch. Take you on
That'd
the
be
4x4. Yeah, she's a good driver. She's pretty interesting. But no, I'm glad you guys had me on. I appreciate it. And I keep in touch. Tell your wife I said hi, David, and your
will.
family too, Jason.
Okay, we will.
No, absolutely.
All right. Are we gonna just end the thing now, or do you want to do your spiel?
I do my spiel.
Okay, let's do your spiel.
All right. Well, I want to thank everybody, and thanks for coming in, chit-chatting with us. And remember, have a good Saturday night. Have a good rest of your weekend. You can find us at paranormal411.org, Paranormal 411 on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Rumble. Tune in live every Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Also Saturdays from 8 to 10. We're on Subspace Radio and all major podcast platforms. Now, we do have a few books out. East Tennessee Hauntings and Lore Edition 2. A comprehensive guide to paranormal investigations and the Haunted Ledger. They're all available on Amazon, or you go to our website at paranormal411.org. Join us.
Yeah, join us. We'll see y'all next time.
Have a good
Have you ever wondered what lurks in the shadows? What secrets the night hides? What strange phenomena might be happening just beyond your perception? Join us as we journey into the world of the paranormal, exploring everything from ghosts and UFOs to cryptids and unexplained occurrences. From haunted houses to all things paranormal, join us in the search for the truth behind the veil. Welcome to Paranormal 411.